Good morning, everyone. Welcome to King James Bible Study Group. I'm back again. We're going to continue on with the book of Proverbs. Chapter 5. Chapter 5 of Proverbs. Chapter 5. Okay, forsake lust. This is chapter 5, verses 1 through 23. And this is what we're going to cover right now. Chapter 5, verses 1 through 23. And it forsakes lust. That's what it's about. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth by smoother than oil. But her ends is bitter as worn wood, sharp as two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps take hold on hell. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life. Her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Wisdom helps guards against adulteresses. Okay, in verse 3, which says strange woman, basically talking about adulteresses. In verse 4, wormwood, a shrub with a bitter taste, thus than the height of bitterness. The adulteress may appear sweet, but in reality, she exceedingly is bitter. In verse 5, when we talk about hell, the abode of the dead. Her steps lead to death, and those who associate with her meet a like fate. Verse 6. The translation of this verse is difficult. You probably should read, she does not consider the path of life. Her ways are unstable, and she does not know it. Verse 7 to 23 talks about deception and warns of the consequences of marital infidelity and points of the delights of faithful marriage to contrast its pathetic alternatives. So as we read, we're going to cover those verses 7 through 23 in chapter 5. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove the way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house. Nigh means near. Avoid enticing opportunities. Let thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel. Honor, meaning your youthful vigor. Verse 10. Let strangers be filled with wealth, and thy labor be in the house of strangers. Wealth means better or strength. Stranger means alien or alienate. Verses 11 through 14 talks about loose living consumes one's strength, activates one's conscience, and brings public disgrace. Okay, so let's read verse 11. And thou mourn at the last when the flesh and thy body are consumed. And say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, not inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. In all evil means as a point of utter ruin. The adulteress nearly lost his life as punishment for his sin. Verse 15. Drink water out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. The figurative language here refers to material intercourse. The main point is to find contentment with your lawful wife. Verse 16. If the fountains be dispersed abroad and rivers of water in the streets. This is better understood as a question. Should your fountains, the idea is, should your beget children by an adulteress, a woman of the street? Fountains is a reference to one's children. Verse 17. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let the fountains be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thine youth. Let her be as a loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. The wise teacher presents a healthy view of sex. Her counsel is to enjoy the delights of God given sex only in marriage. Verse 19, which I just read, I'm going to read it again. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. Verse 20. And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? Roe, gazelle, or ravished, means intoxicated or enraptured. Sorry, folks. Verse 21. For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. Pondereth means observe. Goings is another way of saying wagon tracks or habits. In verse 22, his own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden in the court of his sins. Take means capture, and holden means held. Verse 23, he shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly, and he shall go astray. Without instruction means better for lack or instruction. The wicked will die for his failure to heed divine instruction. Now we're into chapter 6. Avoid surety. Chapter 6, 1 through 5. Which talks about without instruction, better for lack in the instruction. The wicked will die for his failure to heed divine instruction. Sorry, wrong one. 6, chapter 1 through 5 talks about the master's teacher's warns against becoming liable for the financial obligations of another. The one solution he offers is deliver thyself, i.e., get released from the obligation. And let's talk about avoid surety. My son, if thou be surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hand with a stranger. Surety means a consignor, or responsible for a debt, should the borrower default, stricken or strapped. Ratifying the agreement. With better for stranger, a neutral term, the borrower. Chapter 6, verse 2. Thou art snared with the words of thy mouth, thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. Art taken means have been caught. In verse 3, do this now, my son, and deliver thyself when thou art come into the hands of thy friend. Go humble thyself, and make sure of thy friend. Make sure of thy friend means pester. Strongly urge your neighbor. Verse 5. Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of a follower. Means like the good row means like gazelle. In chapter 6, verse 6 through 11, talks about shun laziness. The wise teacher rebukes the slothfulness person who characteristically does not begin things, does not complete things, and makes excuses for his laziness. Okay? Verse 6 says, Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider his ways, and be wise. Ant, mentioning only here and in chapter 30, verse 25 in the Bible, it has no physically present leader, yet it works the initiative, diligence, and foresight in contrast to the sluggard. Verse 7 through 10. Which, having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provided her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou artist of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. To sleep means to lie down or rest. Verse 11. So shall thy poverty come as one of the that travelleth, and thy want an armed man, as one that travelleth like a vagabond. Procrastination will bring unexpected disaster. Verses 12 through 15 talks about the section reveals the character of the wicked man. Okay, let's read verse 12. A naughty person, wicked man, walketh with a forward mouth. Naughty means worthless, forward means perverse or false. Verse 13. He wickedeth with his eyes, he spaketh with his feet, and teacheth with his fingers. Speaketh means scrape or signal. Verse 14. Poorness is in his heart. His deviseth mischief. Continually he soweth discord. Poorness means perversity. In verse 16, 15, we're going to go 15 to 16. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. These 6 things doeth the Lord hate. These 7 are an abomination unto him. 6, 7. The list through specific is not exhausted or exhaustive. Verse 17. A proud look, and a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. Proud look means haughty-eyed. Haughty. Hefty eyes. There you go. 6:18, verse 18 and 19. And heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift, running in mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Imaginations means thoughts or plans. This next section means avoid adultery. This is section M, avoid adultery. Chapter 6, verse 20 through 35. Chapter 6, verse 20 through 35. The theme of this section is the seventh commandment. Thou shalt not commit adultery. And that verse you find, that commandment is in Exodus chapter 20, verse 14, if you want to look it up. Verse 20. My son, keep thy father's commandment, and forsake not the law of thy mother. which is, we know, law means instruction. Bind them continually upon thine heart, and tie them about thy neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. It means parental commandment and instruction. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproof of instructions are the way of life. To keep thee from evil, woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Strange means foreign, or in other words, referring to the adulteress. Verse 25, lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. Lust not, the first step into adultery, or captivate. And you see more information about that in Matthew chapter 5, verse 28, if you want to take a look. Now we're going to read verse 26. For by the means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. A whorish woman means a harlot. And we're going to talk about chapter 6, 27, chapter 26, verse 27 through 29. It's about the impossible to engage in the sin without suffering the consequences. So we're starting at verse 27 through 29. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not his burned? Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? So he that goeth to his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. Verse 30. Men, do not despise the thief, if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. But who committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall he not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. Verse 35. He will not regard any ransom, neither will the rest of the content, though givest many gifts. Verse 35 talks about with a thief, restitution is possible, but with an adulteress, it is not. Now we're going to go to chapter 7. We're in chapter 7 of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 1. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Lay up means better or treasure. So consider it like a treasure when it comes to the commandments. 2. Keep my commandments and live, and my law and the apple of thine eye. Apple of thy eye means pupil of your eye, a precious thing to be guarded with the utmost care. Verse 3. Bind them upon thy fingers, and write them up upon the table of thine heart. Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kingdom. That thou may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with his words. That was verse 4 and 5. As an intimate companion, wisdom will protect the susceptible person from the enticements of the adulteress. I'm sorry, I'm not good with my words tonight. My words are, my lips are susceptible person. There you go. Will protect. Okay, as an intimate companion, wisdom will protect the susceptible person from enticements of the adulteress. Verse 5 talks about the strange woman, stranger or adulteress. In verse 6, which says, "For at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and beheld among the simple ones. I discern among the youth a young man, void of understanding, passing through the streets near her corner. And he went the way to her house. In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night." Verse 6 through 9 talks about the casement, window lattice. The gullible victim flirts with temptation by going to her house. Another reference would be in Romans chapter 16, verse 19. In verse 9, black means pupil. Black as not like at night. Let's read verse 10. "And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot, and subtle of heart." Subtle means crafty or cunning in that verse. Verse 11 and 12. "She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house, nor she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner." Without means outside, basically. And we're going to read 7 through 7, chapter 7, verse 13 through 21. "Note carefully the enticing tactics of the adulterous kisses, flattery, and sensuality, and reassurance." Okay, so I'm going to read chapter 13 to 21. "So she caught him and kissed him, and with impudent face said unto him, I have peace offerings with me. The day have I paid my vows. Therefore I came I forth, O meeting, diligently to seek thy face. I have found thee. I have checked my bed with coverings of tapestry with carved works, and with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloe, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us so lace ourselves with loves. For the good man is not at home. He is gone a long journey. He hath taken a bag of money with him, and will come home at the day appointed. With her much fair speech is caused him to yield. With flattering of her lips she forced him." Okay, verse 14. When they say peace offerings, means sacrifices of peace offerings, having offered sacrifices. She had a good supply of meat on hand, and urged her victim to share it with her, since it had to be eaten right away. And there's more information on that if you want to read Leviticus chapter 7, verses 12 through 17. Verse 16, where it says, "I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt." Covering a tapestry means coverings. With carved works means with fine linen of Egypt. It's better with colored linen of Egypt. Verse 17, where it says perfumed, means sprinkled. So it says, "I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloe, and cinnamon." Verse 18, "Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us so lace ourselves with loves." So lace ourselves means enjoy ourselves. Verse 19, He hath taken bag of money with him, and will come home as the day appointed. The good man, the man means husband. The good man is not at home, he's gone on a long journey. Okay, verse 20. He hath taken the bag of money with him, and will come home at the day appointed. At the day appointed means better, or at the full moon. Verse 21 of chapter 7 says, with her much fair speech, she caused him no yield, with the flattering of her lips she forced him. Fair speech means persuasion or force, better or seduced. Okay, we're going to go to verse 22. He goeth after her straightway, as an ox goeth to the slaughter, or at a fool, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks. Straightway means suddenly, or as fools to the correction of the stocks. Hebrew, like one in, better to the correction a fool goes. The young man obviously proceeds on his drastic fate. Verse 23. Till a dart strike through his liver, till a dart strikes through his liver, as he bird aces to the snare, and knoweth not that it is in for his life. It is for his life. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart decline to her ways, go not astray in her path. For she hath cast down many wounded, ye many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. Okay, verse 26, where it says, for she hath cast down many wounded. Ye many strong men have been slain by her. Many strong men means better, a vast number. Now we're going on to chapter 8. Chapter 8, verses 1 through 21, and so which talks about wisdom and folly contrasted. Or actually, section O talks about the wisdom, folly contrasted. Chapter 8, verses 1 through chapter 9, verse 18. Chapter 8, verse 1 through 21 talks about the qualities of wisdom, and that's what we're going to cover right now. The qualities of wisdom. Verse 1. Doeth not wisdom cry, and understand put forth her voice? Or standeth in the top of high places, by the way in the places of the pass. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the openings of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them. They are plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. Receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that many be desired are not to be compared to it. High wisdom dwell with prudence, find out knowledge of witty inventions. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, I have strength. By my king's reign, a prince decree justice. By me princes rule, and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yea, and fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I led in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasure. Okay, verse 2, we'll go to cover that real quick. She standeth in the top of the high places, by the way in the places of the paths. Better understood, on the top of the heights by the way, means at the crossroads she takes her stand. Chapter 8, verses 3 through 5, says, she cries at the gates at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of understanding heart. Wisdom is available everywhere, and to all, coming in at entrance, wisdom, better or prudence. Excuse me. Verse 8. Go to verse 8. All the words in my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. Froward means twisted, morally twisted or perverse. Verse 11. For the wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may desire are not to be compared to it. Rubies means coral back then. Verse 12. I wisdom well with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions. Witty inventions means prudence or shrewdness. Chapter 17. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. Seek me early means seek me diligently. Means you're going to do it quickly. Find me. Verse 19. My fruit is better than gold, yea, and the fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. Revenue means produce or yield. So if it's a farmer, it's how much you yield in your crops, or how much money you take in from it. Now we're going on to the part two. Part two, our wisdom and folly contrast in chapter 8. Okay, this is going to be chapter 8, verses 22 to 31. Chapter 8, verses 22 to 31. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, therefore his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust on the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the earth, of the depth. When he established the clouds above. When he strengthened the fountains of the deep. And he gave to the sea his decree, and the waters should not pass his commandment. When he appointed the foundations of the earth. When I was by him, as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of man. That's the origins of wisdom. Now I'm going to go over it real quick. Basically, this section, which I just read, has often been interpreted as Christologically. I love big words. Christologically, presenting a picture of Christ rather than simply the internal character of wisdom. Though Christ is the revelation of God's wisdom and possesses all wisdom and knowledge, therefore not clear indication that Christ is revealed here. The passage shows that the wisdom is older than creation and is fundamental to it, that is assisted in creation as the master workman, and that it rejoices the creation. Okay, verse 22 says this: The Lord possessed me in the beginnings of his way before the works of old. The Lord possessed me. His wisdom is God's. It came forth from him. Verse 23. I was set up from the everlasting, from the beginning, or everlasting, or ever the earth was. Wherever the earth was means from the origins of the earth. Verse 27. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he sat a compass upon the face of the depth. Or even the earth was means from the origins of the earth. Okay, sorry, we already did that one. Verse 27. Set a compass. Described a circle, marked with the circle of the horizon. The sky appears as a vaulted canopy to the earth's viewer. Face of the depth means like the ocean. Verse 29. When he gave to the sea his decree, and the waters should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth. Gave to the sea means his decree. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Gave to the sea his decree means set the sea its decree limit or decreed limit. Verse 30. Then I was by him as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. Gave to the sea his decree, I was verse 30. One brought up, better or artisan, a master workman. Verse 31. The habitable part of the earth, meaning the world is his earth, inhabited earth. And that verse goes, rejoicing in the habitable part of the earth, and my delights were with the sons of man. Now in part three of the wisdom and folly contrast. The topic is the man of wisdom. Chapter 8, verse 32 to 36. This chapter concludes with wisdom's closing appeal. Okay, I'm going to read it all the way through, then we're going to continue on. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Get instructions and not be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, and watcheth daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of the door. Longeth days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. The hope of the righteous shall be gladness, but the expectation of the wicked shall perish. The way of the Lord is strength to the upright, but destruction shall be to the workers of the iniquity. The righteous shall never be removed, but the wicked shall not inhabit the earth. The mouth of the just bringeth forth wisdom, but the forward tongue shall be cut out. The lips of the righteousness. Now what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked speaketh frowardness. Okay, verse 832. Now there be hearkened unto me, O children, O blessed are they that keep my ways. Oh, I skipped. I'm sorry. I read it wrong. Okay. Verse 32 to 36, the men of wisdom. I thought something wasn't right. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, be blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, and watcheth daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. For who findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All night hate me love death. I'm trying to understand that myself. We'll find out in a minute more about it. Okay. In chapter 8, verse 32, it says, um, Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hearken, means hear with a view of obedience, O ye children, O sons. And verse 33, hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. It means hear it and you better heed to it. In other words, you better follow the instructions. Verse 34, Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. Posts of my doors means my door posts, basically. Now we're going to go on chapter 9. The woman of foolishness. Chapter 9, 1 through 18, talks about the woman of foolishness. Wisdom hath builded her house. She hath hewn out her 7 pillars. She hath killed her breasts. She hath mingled her wine. She hath also furnished her table. She hath sent forth her maidens. She crieth upon the highest places of the city. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him, Come, eat my bread, and drink of thy wine which I have mingled. Forsake the foolish, and live, and go in the way of understanding. He that reproveth a scorner getteth to himself shame, and he that rebuketh a wicked man getteth himself a blot. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. For by me thine days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself. For if thou scornest, thou alone shalt bear it. A foolish woman clamorous, she is simple, and knoweth nothing. For she sitteth in the door of her house on a seat in the high places of the city, to call passengers who go right on their ways. Whosoever is simple, whoso is simple, let him turn hither. And as for him that wanteth understanding, she said to him, Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret pleasant. But thou knoweth not that the dead are here, and that her guests are in the depths of hell. Okay. Verses 1 through 18. That's about the teaching of the first 8 chapters, the teachings of the first 8 chapters are summarized as both wisdom and folly. Invite men to a banquet to partake of their benefits. In verse 1, wisdom hath built her house, she hath hewn on her 7 pillars. Both wisdom and folly have a house, to which each invited people. 7 pillars means an ideally constructed house. Verse 2, she hath killed her beasts, she hath mingled her wine, she hath also furnished her table. Killed her beasts means slaughtered her slaughter, like either a cow, if it's now in some religions eating pork is against religion, but I would say pork or chicken. Okay, there are many options out there. So she killed her beast. He slaughtered her slaughter, prepared her food, mingled or mixed with the people, talking to them, chatting with them. In verse 3, she has sent forth her maidens. She crieth upon the highest places of the city. Upon the high places means upon the tops of the height, which means she'll go to the tallest buildings you can find and go up there to weep alone in private, or in this case, with her maidens. In verse 4, want just means lacks. So if you replace it, it says, who is simple, let him turn hither. As for him that lacks understanding, she saith to him. Verse 7 and 12. This section points out the contrasting ways of the scoffer and the wise. Okay, I'm going to read verse 7. He that reproveth a scorner getteth to himself shame, and he that rebuketh a wicked man getteth himself a blot. A scorner means scoffer. The wicked person will not only not receive criticism, but will turn on the one trying to help him. Blot means his blemish or an insult. Verse 8 and 9. Reprove not a scorner lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man and he will love thee. Give instruction to a wise man and he will yet be wiser. Teach a just man and he will increase his learning. Just means righteous. Okay, so when they're talking about a just man, it means referring to righteous. In verse 10, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. So, chapter 9, verse 10 means a reiteration of both to the motto and the wise teacher and the theme of the book. Verse 12, if thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself, but if they scorn it, thou alone shalt bear it. Sorry, get hiccups. An individual may choose wisdom and reap its reward, or scoff incurs the penalty. In verse 13, a foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. Clamorous means loud or boisterous. In verse 15, to call passengers who go right on their ways. Passengers, those who pass by, who go right on their way, who go straight on their way, who are living in an upright manner. Verse 17, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. The foolish woman promotes the attractiveness of what is forbidden. Stolen waters and bread eaten in secret may be figures of illicit intercourse. And we're going to stop here for the day. We'll start on chapter 10 of Proverbs tomorrow morning. So until tomorrow, take care and God bless. Heavenly Father, protect us today as we go forth. Let us take what we have learned today and apply it to our lives to show and walk along the path that Christ has given unto us to follow. Let's follow his example, Lord, and bring others to salvation. Witness to them. Talk about how you were saved. Let us talk about how we're saved, Lord, and how proud we are to be called a Christian, to follow in his footsteps. We know, Lord, that the only way for eternal life is through Jesus Christ, Son of God, who gave his life for us, so that we can shed his blood, bearing our sins, all of our sins, so that we can go to heaven. I pray, Lord, that we can touch people's hearts everywhere and anywhere. Pray, Lord, that help me can grow in understanding the ways of life. This I pray in your most holy name. Amen. Good night, everyone. Or actually, good morning. It's my night. I'm getting ready to go to bed. It's past my bedtime. I should have been to bed at 3 o'clock, but things ways end up the way they do. Sometimes I can sleep, sometimes I can't. It depends on my blood sugar level. Been dropping way too low, so if you can't keep me in your prayers, it's been rough. Not getting no sleep because every time I lay down, my alarm goes off, letting me know my blood sugar drops. So just keep me in your prayers. God bless everyone. Have a good day.